Hello, Tenno Zelp here, and today we are going to look at some questions / suggestions from you beautiful people at my Discord. So the first one is to make a video of Nidus and Shade with the ability Ghost. Now Shade is a very unique sentinel that has this ability called Ghost, and it basically turns you invisible forever, as long as the condition is being met. One of which is that you have to be within a certain range of an enemy. If for whatever reason that you came out of invisibility, and this includes invisibility from Warframe abilities as well, there will be a 10-second cooldown before Shade can cast the ability Ghost on you again. This ability will be cancelled easily if you were to attack with any form of weapon, or if you fall from a great height. However, a lot of Warframe abilities does not actually cancel this, and this really benefits the caster class of Warframes. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a quick synergy between the Shade and Nidus as suggested. Nidus is actually a pretty good caster, considering that first ability actually does a lot of damage, and it sort of scales because the more mutation stacks you get, the higher the damage you deal. However, there is a limit to how many mutation stacks you could get, so therefore there is a cap to how much you could scale. It has also the ability, the second ability, which is Lava, to pull enemies together, so that is also a really great ability. So I'm going to try it with heavy gunners at level 150 of course, and here we go. Now to actually activate the Ghost is not something that I'm very familiar with. However, I do find rolling and double jumping kind of helps. So right now I'm in Ghost form, and basically I could stay like this for a really long time. Okay, so use my lava, put them together, and use my first ability. Now I want to make sure that I get them all, so I'm gonna recast it. Check and see if all of them is here. Is all 20 here? Okay, I think all 20 is here. So what I need to do is, you can actually use your third ability to do a little bit more damage. And yeah, basically just keep doing this until they all die. Do note that you can actually drop energy restore plates that does not cancel Ghost as well. Nidus did not need it because the first ability could also drain energy from enemies. There are many other different Warframe casters that could synergize really well with Shade, and I'm looking forward to see your creative responses down in the comments below. On to the next topic. Over here we have the Glaive Prime, and this weapon has been buffed since the last time I played it, and right now I feel like it is really good. Like, first of all, it has a guarantee impact and slash proc when you throw it on an enemy. And we all know that slash proc could bypass armor and shield, making it really good for almost all factions. On top of that, I actually did not know this before, but it seems like all throwing weapons has this momentum, the same momentum that you could find in hammers and heavy blades, where when you are attacking with your melee attack, you will not get interrupted, like you won't get knocked down or staggered. But I believe one of the main perks here is the slash procs. And of course, if you are to use an Ash with this weapon, Ash is actually generally really good with anything that has good slash procs, because any bleed done by Ash will increase in 25% damage and also 50% duration. Now before we go into talking about builds, there's a few things that I feel like maybe a lot of people did not know about throwing weapons, and I would like to share with you before I continue. So first of all, since there is a guarantee slash proc occurring the moment you throw your glaive, you cannot actually proc again. That means you cannot actually have two slash procs happening in the single throw. So this means that no matter how high your status chance is, it's not going to affect the amount of slash procs that you could do. Okay, so for example, if you do not have all the dual stat mods and you have only like 30% status chance, you're still going to only do one slash proc per throw. And this also means that there is no point adding weight to slash, like by adding like buzzkill to increase like the chances of slash happening instead of the other status, since slash will guarantee happen and it will not happen more than once. You can actually test this by throwing your glaive on a single target and see how many slash procs occur. Now you should always only see one slash proc occur at a time unless your glaive returns and hit the target again and then generates another slash proc, or if the glaive were to explode due to power throw, and that explosion can also proc slash. And that is the second point that I want to talk about, is that the explosion from power throw also procs slash procs, and also the impact, the guarantee procs, and also whatever status that you have. So I guess now the question is that slash proc due to this explosion damage a good thing or a bad thing? Now it could be both good and bad, because based on the values from the bleed that I could compare, this explosion damage slash procs, the bleed is 70% out of the original. That means you are losing 30% of your bleed proc damage. Now, it is still worth using if your group of enemy is a lot and it's very dense, because you sacrifice only 30% of the damage, but you get to affect a large amount of enemies, and so overall you could still do more damage. However, if you are dealing with a single target, then throwing at them directly without causing it to explode will give you more damage. Now the next thing I'd like to point out is that a normal throw attack damage, as you can see over there, and a channeling throw attack damage is exactly the same. Now in case if you haven't noticed, throwing attacks does not generate combo counts. So as you can see, my combo count is not increasing. But this actually gave me an idea. So the idea is that since I'm doing slash proc so often, what if I have Rentless combination? So this idea involves getting your combo count increased, and then with Blood Rush you're gonna get 100% or even more critical chance, and that's supposed to give you a lot of damage because bleed procs does increase according to combo multipliers and also critical. However, this did not actually work. First of all, I did not notice a damage increment even though I could see my combo counter increased. And second of all, at 1.5 combo counter, I should have, with this setup with Blood Rush, I should have about 100% critical chance, and I do not see any increase in critical chance from my throwing weapon. So obviously Blood Rush and Rentless combination does not work in this situation, and it's because of that I decided not to go for a critical build. Since dual wielding is a thing, I would highly recommend for gameplay that you try the Zakti and the Glaive Prime. Now this is not my original idea, I actually saw this in a YouTube video and it's from the channel Brozime. You guys should know who that is. I'll put the link to that video at the description so you can go check out his build. Now I am using a different build and we're going to talk about the difference in just a minute, but I want to share with you his concept and his idea, which I think is really cool. So over here we have the Heavy Gunners tree, level 150. And what basically the Zakti does is that it has the ability to open enemies to finisher. Now this finisher is like a counter attack finisher. It ignores armor. So the first attack is going to be really high, as in the initial attack, and followed by a really high slash proc or bleed. Okay, so let's see that again. Okay, do you see that? So now the bleed, oh, it died. So let's try this one. So just shoot him. There you go, and he died. Now let's try doing this with a explosion damage, right? So there you go. Oop, instant death. Now something that I realized is that the explosion, when you open the enemy to finishers, it does extremely high damage. So I actually tweaked the build a little bit. His does not include a power throw and he has more elemental damage. Mine does not have any elemental damage, and also mine included the power throw. Also, I added the Ferox because I'm trying to make it a little bit more AoE-ish. So for example, right here I have 8 heavy gunners. Okay, and I'm actually playing with without my Warframe invincibility because I think that would be fun. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Throw that in. Ooh. Ooh. Oh no, survivors. Okay, so you get the idea. On to the next topic. For the last part of this video, this suggestion is for the Amprex. Now, just a quick summary in case you do not know what the Amprex does. It's basically a weapon that when you target an enemy, the enemies around it will also get hit by a arc of lightning. And those arc, the distance, the range of those arc is affected by Sinister Reach. And this becomes really obvious when there is a huge mob of enemies and you could start seeing large amount of damage even though you're just pointing at one enemy. Now, we often spend mod slots for punch through, but the arc generated from your target to the other targets has infinite punch through as long as they are within the range. And in certain mission tile sets, you could actually see this really obviously because you're starting to kill enemies upstairs, downstairs, and through walls, and that could be kind of fun. As a quick example, I'm gonna use the Atomus because it actually behaves very similar to the Amprex, only thing the stats are different, and also the Atomus is visually easier to see, so I think that is actually better. Okay, so over here you can see that when I aim at one enemy, it could link up to four enemies. It linked this way until here, and you can also see that as the arc from the first enemy to the second enemy to the third enemy to the last enemy, the damage is slowly reduced. Now I've created a bunch of level 150 ancient healers, and I'm gonna aim for one and see how many I could kill when I finish the entire clip. Oh, so it looks like I managed to damage this guy, like pretty much, like 80% of his health is gone, but everything else is alright. Now the point that I'm trying to show here is that if you have some form of punch through on this type of weapon, like for example if you were to hit one enemy, it's going to arc to 3 other enemies. If you could somehow punch through and hit 2 enemies instead, it's going to arc to 6 enemies. And if it's 3 enemies, it's going to be more and more and more. So imagine how much damage you can do, or what I'm trying to say is that you could actually do a lot of damage if you could somehow lump them together. So again, I'm going to try to finish this clip and we're going to see how many we could. You can already see a few of them dying, and there you go. That's all my clip. Okay, that is my time. Let me know if I did the suggestions justice, and if I missed out something, or if you have something interesting to say, you could definitely leave it at the comments below. But you know, be gentle, and also don't forget to like and subscribe and all those sweet stuff. I'll see you in the next video, or the troll videos, which I'm making right now. Have a pleasant day. Bye bye.